Hey guys, what's going on? Here's another video for you. So this is gonna be like kind of a two-parter. The first one is my Fuzz Club collection part 2, because there were 2 records that I forgot I had, like an idiot. So the first one of which is the most recent 10,000 Russo's album. This is the last one they made before they went on a hiatus, which fucking sucks because they're like one of my favorite bands. This comes in a nice blue vinyl. Yeah, it's a fucking fantastic album. Like all of their stuff, every song is amazing. My favorite is probably Saw the Damp and Super Inertia. They actually lost their bassist on this album, and so they recruited this guy who plays synth. I forget his name. But he does well. He does a good job kind of replacing the bassist for their previous releases. And it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more, I guess, synth-heavy feeling. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's hard to differentiate, like, when... Because now that they have that synth player, like, it's hard to differentiate when it's, like, guitar and synth, and... I don't know. It's a very good album, though. Very, very good. Pretty much every song on here is awesome. A House Full of Garbage is definitely an interesting one for them. It's, the band was quoted saying like it's their most poppy song they've written, but it's still pretty good. It's like very melancholic, and the last song's like 14 minutes long. It's a crazy song. Great album, Super Inertia by 10,000 Russo's. And the other one I forgot to mention is by this band. I can't remember where they're from. I want to say Germany, but I feel like that's wrong. This is the second album by Servo. This is a very interesting release. I think there's just some basic black vinyl. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very interesting release. There's a lot of different influences going on here. Obviously, there's a lot of psych rock, but there's also like a lot of sort of post-punky influence. It's a very dark album. The vocals definitely remind me a lot of like, I don't know, like post-punk bands like Chameleons or Bauhaus or, you know, bands like that. And then the music kind of varies. It can get pretty abrasive at times, or it can get like pretty intense, but then it also like, there's a lot of build-ups. It's a very interesting album. I like it a lot. I don't think these guys have done anything since this, which is kind of unfortunate. I know they have one other album. I remember hearing it before. I remember liking it, but I couldn't tell you anything about it from where I'm sitting now. I used to listen to this all the time. Unfortunately, I kind of, it's one of those albums I always forget I have, so I don't really spin it as often as maybe I'd like to, but definitely check this out if you haven't. It's a very, very good album. So anyway, the second part now is a collection update, which I realize I've just been lazy about doing it. You know, it's fucking hard to be consistent with these videos, you know? You have to like really have a passion for what you're talking about and like want to do it, which I'm still trying to find my footing on, but nonetheless, these are 4 albums I've recently acquired that I'm going to show you guys. First one is the debut album from the Cult of One. This is the side project of the Singapore Sling guy, or I guess more technically speaking, his other project. And I don't know, it sounds like Singapore Sling, but just with a little more synth. It's really not that different. He still has the vocal style that he's famous for. It's got the typical like fuck you attitude of Singapore Sling. Very, very catchy songs. There's a couple Singapore Sling albums I probably would prefer over this, but this is good for what it is. He has 3 other albums under this moniker, The Cult of One, that you can listen to on Bandcamp. One of which is really good. The other 2 I wasn't crazy about, but yeah, this one's really good. You have songs like All in Your Head, which is super fun. The Cult of One, Son of God, Down with the General Shite's pretty fun. The Witching Dance, Bop Till They Drop. There's a lot of really catchy and dark and minimalistic songs on here. But it's like, I hate using this word because it's so like cheesy, but it is like a fun listen. Like, I love this band and I love Singapore Sling, and I'm definitely gonna keep getting more releases by both band. both bands. I really have been obsessed with this guy's work as of late. So yeah, this is available still on Fuzz Club. I'm pretty sure you can still get it. Great album. So then after that, this is a new one that just came out like literally, I think like 2 weeks ago. This is the second album from Black Doldrums. Yeah, this one I got on their limited pink pressing, which is a cool inlay. They actually have the lyrics on here too, which they've never done in any of their previous releases. But yeah, nice pink vinyl. So yeah, this is an interesting album. It's definitely a grower. When I first listened to it, I was kind of like, it's good, but it's not of the caliber of the Black Doldrums that I know and love. But I've listened to this like probably a dozen times at this point. No, maybe a little less, but it does grow on you. A lot of these songs are super catchy. The reason it's different from their past releases is there's much less like psychedelic elements on here, and they kind of focus more on like the goth, like again, like kind of post-punk, Susie and the Banshees type sound, which is cool. I'm not like a huge diehard fan of that kind of stuff, but I can appreciate it. There's a lot of really good songs on here. Hideaway is one of the best songs they've written. Painting Smiles, In Silence, Tarantula, Changing of the Season, New Moon. I like all the songs on here, and honestly, it's really been growing on me. When I first heard it, I wasn't crazy about it, but it has been growing on me. There's a lot of really catchy moments. Is it their best album? No, because in my opinion, their best album is that first fucking EP. Is like so unbeatable. I mean, that's a fucking high bar to beat, so I almost can't really blame them. But no, it is very good, and it's worth checking out. Pretty sure there's still copies on the Fuzz Club website. Good stuff. So the next two I have here. First one, these are both CDs. This one also came out this year. This is by Inquisition. This is Veneration of Medieval Mysticism and Cosmological Violence, as they always do with their long song titles and album titles and things like that. Yeah, this album is fucking awesome. I know there's controversy with the guy and like whatever, but it's like, like I've said in previous videos before, I don't really care about that shit. If the music's fucking good, the music's good, and the music is goddamn good on this album. I mean, I really respect about this band is like these dudes are passionate fans of the genre and of like music itself, or at the very least, what's his name? Oh yeah, Dagon, whatever, is definitely like super into black metal and things like that. And even still, and this is like their 9th album, and he's still passionate about it. He's not just merely churning out music like a lot of these other bands are. He's actually putting his back into it and creating a fucking atmosphere within a whole album. And this album is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, honestly, like, this might be my favorite since, like, I really like the, what is the 2017 one? That one was good. I like all their albums in various degrees. I think my favorite would have to be Invoking the Majestic Throne of Satan, the second album. That album is just, like, in a league of its own. But this is, like, up there. This is definitely up there. And I mean, like, you'd think with, like, how long they've been in the game, how much bullshit he's had to go through, Dagon, with all, like, the allegations, and, like, he would just kind of be getting, like, burnt out or whatever. But no, this is, like, you know, a big fuck you to all the haters out there, essentially. The songs are stripped down. The production is perfect. The atmosphere is just so complimentary to like the medieval atmosphere they're trying to create here. Memories Within an Empty Castle and Ruins, that song alone is just like, holy fuck, man. Like, and again, the production is perfect on here. It's exactly what you would want to hear from an Inquisition album of this caliber. Just excellent stuff. I'm so happy I own this. Okay, and the final one here. This is, oh shit, give me a second. I guess this is the second album, although to my knowledge, this is their first album. I think it says so on Metal Archives. This is Earth 2. I think it's their first full length, but I think they have a release before this. This is a great, great drone album, a classic. You know, it's not like a new album by any means or whatever, but I just had to get it because I've been into drone a lot. Like, not like all of it, but I really love the old Southern Lord recordings, like Burning Witch and Old Boris, Earth, Goat Snakes, stuff like that. I just love the guitar tones, and this album's great. It's super minimalistic. It's very repetitive, but, you know, that's drone. It's just basically 2 guitars, the entire album, and it's only 3 songs, but I mean, I guess you do have to be in the mood for it, but yeah, this is like a classic fucking album. I love it. I love their early shit. I like the later stuff too, like Hex is a good album, Bees Made Honey in the Lion's Skull. I remember not really liking that the last album they made where him and the drummer on the front cover. I didn't really like that one too much, but most of their stuff is really good. I got to see Dylan Carlson open for Sleep a couple years ago. That was awesome. But yeah, this album is just, again, you have to be in the mood for it, but it's very droney. And it's just, it really is just a fucking trip. I mean, when you get into it, you're just locked in, and it's just like, this is fucking awesome. So yeah, this is a classic. Great stuff. And yeah, that's my collection update for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.